Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 2 of the Frisky Whiskey. This evening we have an interesting selection of whiskeys that we're going to be attempting. I'm actually going to let Mike D introduce these.
Tonight's episode is the Battle of the Ryes, the epic Battle of the Ryes, if you will. And we have a great selection tonight. Two of them have an actual history tied to them because of where they're from, and one's a new player into the field of rye and whiskey. So we have Old Forester, which is one of the oldest, actually, it is the oldest distillery in America. They're 100 proof rye, and they're part of the Whisky Row collection, which is our next rye, which is Michter's rye, which is one of the other oldest distilleries in
That
America,
is
although they did
correct.
have a gap in between making whiskey, but they came back. And then our third one is, like I said earlier, is a new player to the whiskey rye market, if you will. And it's actually, this one's really unique because it is woman run and owned.
That's
And
fascinating.
we'll
That's
talk
good.
about that as we get to our whiskeys. We'll actually go in a little more deeper context into each whiskey and talk about the history of these whiskeys. But I think this is going to be a really fun episode.
Yep, and that
And
one is the Milam and Greene.
Milam and Greene. Yes, I didn't mention that. Yes, Milam and Greene. And that one's a specially made bottle for Flaviar, which is my whiskey club, because that one is aged in port wine casks, which is kind of cool.
I'm interested to try that one out. I wonder. So last week, right, we went through the whole Starward
Yes.
collection, and we did have some that were actually aged in red wine
Yep.
barrels. So I'd be interested to see how this one kind of compares flavor wise with the red
Yeah, I'm
wines.
actually looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
That one really sounds pretty good.
So
And now all of these you can get at Total Wine or any of your local liquor stores, except for the Millen and Green one, because that one's a specialty bottled for them. But they do have Millen and Green regular rye at Total Wine. I saw that today. And the price points of these bottles, so we have a really good price point going on here. The Old Forester's $25 a bottle. The Mitchers is $48 a bottle, and the Millen and Green specialty bottle for Flaviar is $75 a bottle. So we have a real
yep,
good spread of price points for these ryes. So it's going to be a good battle, I think.
I agree. I think this is going to be a very interesting battle, especially since we're throwing in a newcomer
Hmm.
right against some legacy
Yeah,
Rise.
and I like the fact that these are women getting into it. That's
Me
a
too.
great story. Like I'm so about that. I want everyone to get into their rise, and the fact that these women, have the passion to do it. I
I
can't
agree.
wait to try
I
this.
agree. And you know, I'm obviously like I think we both agree we're a fan of Old Forester. We brought it up in our last episode. This particular Michter's is actually my favorite one that I've had by them. I think it's better than their bourbon.
It is.
Don't shoot me on that one.
No, I'm not
Anybody
going
who's
to
a
shoot
fan,
you. I may kick you, but I'm not going to shoot. No, it
it
is.
is a really good rye.
It is.
And then of course,
It's unknown. We've never tried this
with the
one.
new one, it's.
Yeah, we've never tried it.
But you did mention that we can, if you have a Total Wine near you, you could probably find it.
They have their regular rye, not this
Yeah.
particular
Okay.
one. Their regular rye is not
Or
aged in
yeah.
port cast.
Okay. Okay.
So, in fact, I think I'm gonna get our first pour going here.
Yeah. Let's do
All
it.
right, so we're gonna do Forester, Old Forester, and you know, Old Forester's been around for 145 years. It's been available for
That is
145
a
years.
long
That's
time.
crazy. And what people don't know about Old Forester is it used to be certified by a doctor
Yeah.
back in the day.
Correct. Correct.
And if you know your whiskey history, back in the day, they made horrible whiskeys. We're talking, back in the
Yeah.
1800s. It was mixed with God
Swill.
knows
It was
anything.
all sorts of stuff.
So this doctor would go certify these barrels,
Hmm.
and he'd use it on his prescriptions as well.
Yeah.
And originally, it was actually called Brown. The name of it was actually called
Yeah.
Brown. And then whoever bought it, whoever wanted to bring it more mainstream, said, "Well, we can't call it Old Brown."
Yeah.
So they actually inherited the doctor's name, Dr. Forester.
Yeah.
So it's called Old Forester, and that's where how that whole thing came, and it's part of the whole Whiskey Row collection.
That is correct. Yeah. So Whiskey Row, based out of it's
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Yeah. Sorry, that's
That's
the
okay.
brain part there for a
Yeah,
second.
that's okay.
I'm like,
Yeah,
wait,
we all
it's
have brain
Kentucky, right?
farts.
Yeah, so that's actually where a bunch of the classic distilleries exist. Um,
And the
Michter's
whiskey
included. There's a what are a couple of the other ones?
there was Cooper's Craft.
There's Yep, Scoopers Craft.
There were actually nine of them.
Yeah,
There's nine of them that's part of the whole Whiskey Row collection. If you ever go to Kentucky, you can actually do a tour of the Whiskey Row. and
Yeah.
there's so much history there. They're still using most of these guys are still using the original distilleries. Like I
Yeah.
know, I think it was Old Forester that actually had built their mechanism to move the whiskeys between out of old copper pennies. They melted the copper pennies down, and they're still using that mechanism today, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool. So, Ti, why don't you talk about what we're using for our glass and our equipment for today?
Yeah, sure. So we're using some Glencairn glasses. These are tasting glasses. And I believe we have a uh, half ounce jigger.
Yes.
We're also using, as a way to keep our ice cool while we're sitting here making the podcast, we're using a nice large Yeti mug. All of these are available online. We purchase a lot of these through Amazon. And smelling this right now, you can smell this Old Forester. It smells strong.
There's a very strong scent from
Yeah.
this little. When we open this
But this,
bottle up.
this is 100 proof though. So
Yes.
I would expect it to be a little bit more on the pungent side. And it is rye, and rye is known for being kind of spicy and
Yep. And so the flavor profile for this one is rye, spicy, a little black pepper, some brown sugar, chestnut, dill, and apple. And once again, we're going to bring in our friend, the Scotsman, who's going to walk us through this. We have
Spicy.
I love that one.
Apple. Lemon. Pine.
So he doesn't do chestnut, which I'm really disappointed.
mm,
We gotta call this guy. He should be doing chestnut. He's not doing brown sugar either. And the brown sugar on the flavor profile kind of looks like a Grateful Dead thing, doesn't it?
it does.
That's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, if you saw this, it's got like a skull and it looks like a almost like a DNA around him that would make it, I guess, brown sugar. I have no idea how they got that picture.
I have no idea.
It doesn't look like brown sugar to me in any form or fashion. And the spicy's kind of cool too. It looks like a picture of like the Venus de Milo guy screaming with a big hot
Yeah.
pepper in his face.
Spicy.
Spicy. So I'm gonna give this a quick
Yeah.
smell,
Yeah.
and the immediate smell I'm getting is the apple.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely the spiciness. So it's probably
Well,
the
yeah,
rye
it's
and black
rye.
pepper.
Rye is always on the nose with that
And
spiciness.
maybe that lemon is in there too, a little bit behind it in that smell.
I don't know. I don't know if I smell lemon.
No,
I
could
get
be
you on the
me.
apple. I get the
Could
spicy
be
though.
me. It could be me.
Maybe you just have a better nose. How does it taste though?
So I think I'll let you go take taste first
Okay.
of it. But Old Forester is a great brand. They have so many different bottles, so many different choices.
Ooh, this is pleasant. It's very spicy. Um, Definitely get that right up the front.
Oh, the
Um,
spiciness hits you right on top.
yeah,
But
I
it's
will
still so
say
smooth as a 100 proof
mm,
goes. It's really smooth.
it
It's really
does definitely
nice.
come out with the apple. You can
Yes.
taste the apple in
Yeah.
there.
I'm not sure if I'm getting dill.
Um,
Maybe a little bit. Maybe that's what
no,
that earthy flavor is. That dill kind of.
no, that could almost just be the rye,
Yeah, because rye would be more earthy.
Mhm.
That's just.
Being that it's a grain and all.
But this is tasty.
I like this.
This is tasty, neat.
Yep,
This really is.
I like this a lot. So the colors, it's
It's
pretty
very
good.
dark. It's got a dark roundness to it.
Yeah, it's a good amber
Yeah,
color.
it's good amber brown to it. It's really nice.
Mm. Definitely clings to the glass.
Yeah, definitely. You can see the legs, if you
Yes,
will, coming down on that, which is really nice.
but I mean overall, I mean the flavor profile. That's like on the weird thing, right? Is I'm trying to like I don't know. You mentioned a bunch of other things, right? So what are some of the other items that
So we
was
got
mentioned?
rye, spicy, black pepper, brown sugar, chestnut, dill, apple, pine. Pine would be earthy too with
Yeah,
the rye, and then the lemon. Maybe I smelled lemon. I'm not grasping any lemon taste out of this
I
whatsoever.
think it's funny that they're kind of like describing pine sol.
Yeah, lemon and pine, exactly. Oh my god! And you can clean with it, everybody. It would be great
Yeah,
for your floors. It
awesome.
does
Yeah,
amazing on your windows.
everyone will look at you like crazy.
Back in the day, they probably used rye for gasoline.
Probably.
You
Okay,
know,
so I could get behind some of that the pine and the brown sugar.
yeah,
I can
yeah.
actually taste that in there. It's very light though.
So, before they had the rye revolution recently, which is in the last 15
Mhm.
years, if you went to a store to try and find rye, the only rye you could probably find was something called Old Overhaul.
Yeah.
And if you saw a bottle of this looks like something your grandfather had in his cabinet. The guy looks like something from like the colonial days, and this stuff was like Ethel. Like you can, it was like like when you open the bottle, like the whole house is like, whoa, like don't light a match, like this thing's gonna go up.
Hopefully the pilot light doesn't go on.
And it's funny because that was when I first found my drink, the usual.
Yeah.
So there's a great rye drink I like to make. It's called the usual, where it's rye, a splash of ginger ale, and cherry bitters. Remember that drink I
Yep.
made for us?
Yep.
It's a
Remember,
really
yeah,
tasty
delicious
drink.
it
So
is.
all my listeners out there, you gotta try it. You get 2 ounces of your favorite rye. First, you can start with some about 5 to 6 drops of your cherry bitters. Uh, your local Total Wine will have a cherry bitter there to buy. Woodford makes it,
Mhm.
or you can go on Amazon once again. Amazon has everything. You can get cherry bitters from Amazon. They have a couple of different brands that makes it. Um, and then 2 ounces of the rye. Throw your ice in there, and you hit a nice good splash of that ginger ale on top, and it is a very tasty cocktail.
Yeah, actually,
And it's refreshing too with the ginger ale.
which is surprising. When you think of a whiskey drink, you don't normally think refreshing. You kind
Yeah.
of think,
Yeah,
whiskey.
whiskey rye. This is like you think of rye, you think of your grandfather drinking rye.
Honestly, every time I go to drink rye, I know I'm in for a good time, and because I like the pepperiness, I like the
Yes.
spiciness of rye. So, huge fan of ryes in general.
Yeah, over the years, I've definitely become a huge fan of ryes. I have a couple of personal favorites I'm not going to get into tonight, but I have a couple of personal favorites I really like to buy. I think we've been finding our personal
Mhm.
favorites. The Michter's here became a new personal favorite after you introduced it to me when you had to shoot down my Michter's bourbon. It's all
Hey,
right. It's all
we had
right.
a little battle, and I
Yeah,
won.
yeah,
That's
you
all.
won. You won that one. I'll give you credit. It's okay. The Mitch's Bourbon's still good. You gotta try it. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give you 1 cube here, Ti.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. And then
And yeah, nothing against the Michter's bourbon at all. It's still a
no,
really
it's
good
good bourbon.
bourbon.
Very good bourbon, but the rye, honestly, it takes it. It takes
Yeah.
it to the next level. So I'm gonna pour us
Yeah,
more
give us a little bit more.
Foresters.
So now we're gonna see with
Now,
this ice in here, we're gonna see what we get for flavors. Sometimes when I know I've mentioned this before, when you get the ice in there or a little drop of water, it really does open up the flavor profile a lot. So we might actually end up, see some of the pine,
yes.
the lemons. We might see more of that come out with the pepperiness kind of dulled out.
Now, what would you think now, based off at a neat level, do you think this would make a good cocktail?
Um,
Like a good old fashioned. And we're gonna have to up our game with the Manhattans. I think next
yeah,
by episode 4, we're gonna have to start making Manhattans. I found an easy recipe to make it, but we need to get the right glass. It's all about the glassware.
yes, it is. It has to be that nice,
Up the
yeah, the little. I don't know what you call that.
I'm not sure what you call it either.
Maybe it's just called a Manhattan glass.
Yeah, or it's like kind of like what you would think you'd get like a martini up
Mm.
type of glass. Where it's a long stem and then the bigger glass, wide open glass. Because you got to mix it in the ice and then you pour it into the chilled glass.
Yeah.
You don't serve it over ice. Like it'd be weird to put that in a rocks glass
Yeah,
because
that
I
wouldn't
couldn't
make sense.
drink a drink out of a rocks glass without rocks in it.
Yeah.
Let's be very clear. It just wouldn't make any
It
sense.
just too big of a glass. It's
Yes.
meant for having.
And the glass makes a big difference.
It
It
does.
really does. Like if you have a Dewar's and soda, you want a Tom Collins glass, which is the
Yes.
long, thin,
Yep.
round glass, because that's how it was designed to be made.
Yeah.
So with the ice in it, what do you think, Ti?
So I will say that the spiciness didn't really go away, at least not when I took
No.
a sip of it.
Nope, I totally agree.
I think the apple is more pronounced now.
Yes, the fruit. I'm not getting chestnut. Chestnut would be like a softer. If you have had chestnuts, it's a very soft type of soft nut.
Mhm.
And it's kind of creamy, the chestnuts, and I'm not getting that
What's interesting is
creamy chestnuts. Yeah, that was-
I wasn't going to say anything, man. I was going to let that one go.
awesome.
But hey, you want to talk about
Yeah,
creamy
you're talking
chestnuts?
creamy chestnuts, man. Well, I'll meet you later.
More power to you.
We'll talk about that later. My own special personal podcast, the creamy chestnut.
Oh boy.
How to go there? How to go?
But
All right, bring it back in. Bring it back in.
it is interesting. The spiciness. So before, when I took a sip of it, before we put ice on it, the spiciness was like bam, right at the right.
Yeah, no,
right.
it's not. It's
But
not
now it's
bam.
like it's on the side of your tongue.
Yes.
It's almost like after you take the sip, it just kind of like gets spicy.
It didn't want to
after you
go
take it.
away. It's like, hey, we're
Yeah.
still here.
Yeah.
We're not right in front of you right now. We're kind of stepped aside. We're still, No, we don't want to leave you just yet. I think the earthiness, the rye and the pine and I guess the pine sol, as you made a joke about it earlier, is not there. It never got the lemon out of it. It's the
Yeah.
apple.
Yeah.
There's your fruit is the apple. Brown sugar is a little sweet. There's some sweetness there, so that's got to be the brown sugar.
It's got to be, but it also lessened with the ice, which I find
Yeah,
interesting. Usually,
the sugars come out. The sweetness come
Yeah,
out with the ice,
it
and
is.
it kind of mellowed the sweetness out, but it's still there.
Mhm. So it actually became a nice, well-rounded rye with
Yeah.
some ice.
So what do you think? Think this would make a good old fashioned?
I think this would. I
Yeah.
honestly, it would be a high proof old fashioned. Usually not going 100 proof.
Yeah.
Um, but I still think it would make a really good old fashioned.
Okay. Well, you know what? We'll try the Mitchers next. And then maybe between the two, we may make an old fashioned tonight. I actually got my stuff out tonight,
Yeah,
and
go
we're
fancy.
gonna do it proper way. We're gonna muddle a little bit.
Well,
Get some sugar.
you got to treat those ryes proper.
Yeah, I got some Woodford Reserve bitters
Yep.
tonight. And I even got the what kind of cherries are these? The
Oh, the Luxardos.
Luxardo cherries. Now, look, let me tell you something out there. All right, if you use a maraschino cherry to make a cocktail, stop.
Yeah,
Just stop.
That's meant for ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Or
goes on your
Shirley
Sundae.
Temple.
Yeah, or
Okay.
Shirley Temple.
Don't use maraschino cherries. Just don't do the cherry if you don't have the right.
Do
right
something
stuff.
luxurious if you're going
Yes.
to be using a cherry.
Now, our friends at Jack Rudy, where we get some of our cocktail supplies, where I get some of my bitters, and they have that simple syrup they make, the demerara syrups,
Yep.
whatever they call that. They also have a soaked cherry that they soak in bourbon that they sell, which is good for cocktails
I
as
bet that
well.
would be.
Yeah, and Woodford makes one too. They make a soaked cherry that they soak in their bourbon.
Okay. So you're
Um,
talking Woodford Reserve.
Woodford Reserve. They
Okay.
have their own cherries as well too.
Nice.
So those are good cherries to get for your cocktail if you want to add it to your cocktail collection.
Add
add
a
it to
little
your bar.
spice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They're very good. But no, this is really really tasty.
Yeah.
I feel like almost having one more before we go to the next.
Hey, if you want to,
You know,
I'm down. I
yeah,
mean, it's
you know. And we didn't talk about what the food pairing for tonight.
Oh, that's right. We missed that.
We did miss that, but we had some good food earlier. We always like to eat before we do this a little bit, and we try to find foods that pair with our whiskeys for the night. So we went to a place called Ceviche Arigato. Full name. They are a Japanese Peruvian fusion.
It's really good
restaurant.
food. Really.
And so tonight we had a cilantro mixed seafood soup that had rice in it, and it has like a really good flavor. It's not heavy on cilantro. Now I know people who don't like cilantro. It has that weird. People don't
Soap.
like
It's a
tastes
soap.
like soap to them.
Yeah.
So if you don't like cilantro, this soup is not for you.
Yeah.
But it's a really good soup. And then also on top of that, the other pairing with our food was we get this it was a sautéed grouper in a yellow pepper sauce that had mixed seafood on top of it, which was calamari, shrimp,
Fantastic.
mussels, and clams. And let me tell you, that sauce is to die for. You want to lick the plate. That sauce is so good.
So you probably noticed, 2 weeks in a row having seafood for dinner. Being where we are, we have a lot of fresh seafood available,
South Florida, we do.
and it's very, very good. So why not take advantage of the all season delicious seafood
Yes.
and all the amazing restaurants around the estate?
And we have a lot of Latin style restaurants around us. So
Exactly.
you can get a lot of Latin out of us.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we will be introducing Andes,
Yes,
and that won't be seafood.
there's not going to
That
be
will not
seafood.
But
That-
we will get there
yeah,
eventually. We will
yeah.
talk about that. But tonight's pairing was really good. If you live here in local South Florida, West Palm Beach,
Mhm.
Palm Beach Gardens, and also we didn't do it tonight, but if you like ceviche, they have amazing ceviche.
They really do.
have,
Obviously, it's in
like-
their name. So
Yeah, I mean they have like their menu has about 12 different ceviches or something crazy like that, and they're all delicious. Everyone.
they have a spicy one, I believe we've had,
Yeah,
and that's
okay.
really good.
So check it out. That's a good food pairing when you're having whiskeys. Help really enjoy yourselves there. Get some food. Check it out. It's in Lake Park. Give it a go.
Mhm.
They're also on all the Door Dashes and
Yep.
well, it's not a delivery dudes anymore. It's ASAP now.
Yeah.
They just got bought out. They got bought out for a lot of money, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, they built out a pretty
I-
extensive market.
Yeah, I think they got bought for something like $10 million.
Yeah, I thought
That's
it would have been
amazing.
more.
Or maybe even more, maybe 15. I just know it was a good number. I'm like,
Yeah.
good for them.
They've been around for a minute though.
Yeah,
They were one of
yeah.
the original ones, I think, right?
Yeah, they were the first ones to really get it going.
Yeah.
They were, and then DoorDash came along, and then Uber Eats started.
Yep.
So, but check it out, Ceviche Arigato. It's good mixing with seafood
Yep.
and whiskey. All right, so, we're gonna move on to the next one.
You want to move
Yeah,
on?
move on to the
We're
next
not going to challenge ourselves to another one.
No, so you know what? We may come back and make a cocktail with this.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Let's not ruin it for
Yeah,
ourselves.
I want to talk about my chestnut site.
Here we go again.
All right, so we got to clean our glass out
Yes,
real
yes, yes,
quick,
yes.
and it's okay. Just toss it on the floor,
All right.
dry, so the cat will lick it up later. My cat likes his whiskey.
He's a good cat.
He is the inspiration of the frisky whiskey.
Yes.
He was a frisky whisker one day. He was all frisky when cold weather hit Florida, which, if you live in Florida, we freak out. If it's like 65 degrees, we have no idea what to do here.
Yeah.
But it was actually had that good cold front where it was like 40 degrees. It was nice. I like that. What I like about cold fronts in Florida, they go away. It's not like it stays for like
Well,
6
we did
months.
have that one that stuck around for like 3 weeks.
Well,
And it was, I think, sometime in December.
Oh.
It just was cold.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
but
our winter.
that was our winter, and it goes away. That's a good thing about that. All right, so now we're moving into our next ride. All right, so
Ooh.
round one, Old Forester did good.
Very solid
All right,
choice.
so now for the Battle of Ryes, we're in round two.
Wait.
All right, we got Michter single barrel, established 1753 Kentucky straight rye. I love the bottle. It just looks like
It looks like a solid. I don't know.
Right.
It just looks like a whiskey bottle.
Yes, it looks like something I would see in
Yeah.
my grandfather's closet,
Yeah.
or when he would drink back in the day, the way the label looks. It's really got a cool label. They kept that real, which I like about that.
All right, so let's see.
And I'm up in our game. We're actually doing full 1 ounce tasters now. We're not doing
Ooh,
half-ounce
okay.
tasters anymore. Okay.
We're getting serious with this.
I
You know.
like to really enjoy it. I'm gonna walk through the flavor profile in 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick pour.
So, the thing that I've come to appreciate about Michter's actually came from uh when we went to that whiskey class.
Yes,
Um,
Whiskey University.
Yep, we went to Whiskey University.
Yeah, so we bought the Whisky Row.
Yep, that's where we learned about Whisky Row, and then it also was, I think, my introduction to Michter's. I don't think I had it before then, to be honest with you.
I've had it before. I've had a couple bottles before. This is before we were really getting into the whole art of the drinking of whiskey, which it is an art now.
It is, especially
All
if
right,
you take
so-
your time to appreciate it and for what it is, right?
So I'm gonna bring in the mixers. I'm gonna. Here we go. So on the flavor profile for the mixers, once again, rye, spicy, marmalade, pepper,
That should be good.
butterscotch, savory, stewed, port, and grain. So interesting to calling out port because we know our third one is actually cast in port, aged in port cast. But once again, the Scotsman always likes to have his say in things. So we got
Butterscotch. Rye. Spicy.
my favorite,
Savory.
ooh, savory,
Stewed.
Stewed.
Strawberry.
Where did strawberry come from?
Why did he say strawberry?
Wait.
Stewed. Strawberry.
He finishes. So it's a stewed strawberry.
Ah,
There you go. I'm looking at the picture. I was like, why is he saying that? But the picture, you look closely, it looks like there's a strawberry in there.
it does make more sense than just saying stewed.
Right.
Grain.
He doesn't say port, which I'm surprised. But so that's your flavor profile. The rye and the spicy is a bigger picture, so that means it's going to have the first taste you're going to get. The butterscotch
Yep.
should be almost there in the beginning. Marmalade, which is kind of what marmalade's more of an orange type of a jelly.
Yep.
But once again, it would be sweet or even almost like a sour. The pepper to say savory. It's interesting what I'm saying.
Savory.
The stewed part, man, that threw off so much.
Actually, that really
Stewed. Strawberry.
that's really
You
interesting.
really I don't know.
That's
The
really
cadence of
interesting.
speech is important.
Yes. And this has it has a very mild and this is maybe lighter in amber than the Old
Oh, it
Forester.
absolutely is.
Much lighter in amber. It has nice legs when you swirl it around. I think the legs are a little bit thinner.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not
Then-
100 proof.
It's not 100 proof. This is true.
So I gotta say, I get the stewed strawberries now. Now that I know it's stewed strawberries, that's what I taste right at the beginning.
Well, that's tasty. You know what? Even though I smell the spice is very mild.
It's so mild.
And the rye is the rye. So, but wow, that is really tasty by itself, man. That is. I mean, we know this. We've had this before.
This is why it's one of my favorite.
Wow. I mean,
ryes.
this is such. Like the Old Forester for 100 proof for $25 is very smooth. This is like butterscotch. It's butter.
Mhm.
This is butter. This is really good.
This is a pleasure to drink.
Yeah.
When you're drinking it, like it doesn't matter with it, neat. You're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, this is really, really good.
And if I remember correctly, when we add ice to this one, it definitely opens up all those like because right now, to me, right, we get the spiciness. Uh, I do taste the stewed strawberries, which is interesting. Like when they mention it, I didn't think it, and then I've tasted it now again, and I'm like, oh yeah, it definitely is stewed strawberries. Because I'm
There's
thinking,
that flavor. It's like a jelly, like
well,
my grandma used to make strawberry jam.
well,
That's what it reminds me of a
yeah,
little bit.
a little bit of that. I'm thinking
Yeah.
like when you're having like strawberry shortcake stuff,
Oh
and you
yeah.
take like the sugar and strawberry mix and put it
Yeah,
on
yeah.
top. Yeah,
That's what this is.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can taste that.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it
mean, and
reminds
don't
me
get me
of.
wrong, I'm not drinking strawberry shortcake here.
No,
Let's
no,
not get that confused with
that's
the
just
two.
the strawberry profile
It's
that I'm
just that
getting.
that sensation you're getting
Mhm.
from it. Yeah, I mean, this is really. I mean, now we both know we've talked about this one before. I would not make a cocktail with this.
Nope.
This is something that you have to drink either neat or on the rocks. Get a good cigar,
Mhm.
chill out, throw something good on TV, hang
Yep.
out, listen to some good music.
Yep.
This is definitely and this is dangerous too because you can down a bottle of this, in my opinion,
Well,
without realizing it.
we almost did.
I think we did that night, and we were like, it was cool. Like I didn't feel like I drank a whole
Yeah,
bottle until I stood up.
yeah. No, we got lost. Us like I don't remember what we were doing completely, other than just hanging out, having conversation. I think
Yep.
we were having a couple cigars,
Hmm.
drinking some of this, and then next thing you know, the bottle was almost kicked, and we were like, "Oh, well, I guess we're finishing a bottle today."
Yeah, and I'm so excited. I haven't had a cigar in a couple weeks. We're gonna have a cigar. I had pneumonia. Everybody, it was crazy.
Yeah,
But
it's been
even
rough.
though I probably shouldn't be smoking, I'm smoking a cigar tonight. I've gone a long time. It's been too long.
It's been like a couple months, a month.
About a month.
Yeah.
About a month. But wow, this is tasty. And I was following Dr. Forrester's prescriptions for pneumonia,
Mhm.
sipping whiskey in between things.
Yeah, you have to.
Taking my antibiotic and have a sip of whiskey.
Yeah, that makes it look better.
Yeah, and then, a little cough syrup with the whiskey. You know what I'm talking about? Your grandfather's old cough syrup, That was good stuff, man. So I gotta thank my doctor for that one. I was like, yeah, give me the good cough syrup, doc. You know.
Dr. Forrester.
Yeah. But this is really tasty. Like I would really recommend this. Almost neat, but we're gonna jump into ice now.
Yep.
Let me finish mine.
Yeah, definitely for 49, it's 48.99
Yeah, 40. Yeah, so
at
$49.
at Total Wine. So
Yes.
if you can find a good price on, I mean, that's still not a bad price.
No.
If you can find it cheaper, then you're doing well
Actually,
for
on
yourself.
Flavor Art here, it was $45.
Okay,
So,
there
like I
you go.
said, Flavor Art prices are either just as good as Total Wine, sometimes better, sometimes not better. It really
Yeah,
depends. I guess it depends where they're getting it from,
yep.
who their distributor
Distributor,
is.
yeah,
So and there's a lot of distributors out there that.
yes.
Okay,
Always up to something.
so we're jumping into the ice now.
I'm excited. I'm excited because I know
What we're getting
how
ourselves
much
into.
better this is going to get.
Like we may
Even
have,
though it was
yeah.
really good, I just know how much better it's going to get.
Yep.
It's like it's one of those things.
All right.
Got Leroy hanging out with us.
Yeah, Leroy, he's the inspiration of the Frisky whiskey.
Yeah,
He's what kind of got the name going for us. He's my cat. He's a cool cat. He's actually a really cool cat.
it is. He's a good cat.
And he's a rescue kitty.
Deserves to have his own podcast named after him. It's the least you could do. Careful. Oh, Leroy wants his cut. He's down there. Look, he's down there. He's down there watching Mike D. They're pour some whiskey. He's like, hey, where's mine? Come on. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
All right. So,
Get this melted in there.
it obviously when you put the ice in there, it always mellows the smell profile before
Yeah.
you drink it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think that kind of made the marmalade smell. I get
See,
that.
now that butterscotch pops out, man. Like I think that stewed strawberry is actually mellowed, and the butterscotch, the marmalade comes out more. The port, because that port's going to be sweet too.
Well, port's kind of dry too, right?
Yeah,
Sweet and dry.
the port wine's weird. I was never a port wine guy. I used to be a wine guy. I used to make a lot of red wine, but I never could get into ports.
Why?
It was too sweet for me at the
Oh,
time. Um,
that makes sense.
yeah, me and red wine it doesn't work well with me anymore. I do enjoy a good red wine, a good bottle here and there occasionally, especially a nice steak. A good Cabernet with a nice steak is always good.
Yeah.
But But this is really
It's delicious.
yeah. That spice is still there. Like the Old Forester, it jumps to the side.
Mhm.
And once again, I would not waste this on a cocktail.
No.
It would be an absolute waste.
Yeah, it would. No, this is a rye that can shine all its own, and
Yeah.
you don't need to butter it up or give it
No,
bitters or
no.
anything. Right?
I think if you had a fight right now, right, if they were in the ring with each other, as much as like the Old Forester, the Mitchers right now is throwing some uppercuts right now.
Yeah.
Forester's backing up a little bit. Nothing wrong with Old Forester, especially with the price point, but this is really this is a different level.
Yeah.
This is really good.
You're in my opinion, you can taste the difference in quality.
Yeah.
Not saying that Old Forester is bad quality. I'm just saying
Yeah.
you can taste the reason why Old Forester's what 25 in a bottle, and this one's almost 50.
Sometimes you get what you pay for. Um, but and sometimes a cheaper bottle blows away the more expensive bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do a cast about that down the road.
Yeah.
So have some battles, do some like under $30 bottles that we know are good, for bourbons and ryes down the road, or even
Yeah.
whiskeys.
We really want to go head to head with pricing,
Yeah.
right? Not just same category, but like
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
pick up some big.
It's a nice category,
Yeah.
but we actually spread the pricing around. That was by design too. Um, and I wanted the history of the rise out here to go against this new player in the market that we're
Yeah.
going to be getting to very shortly. But you know what? I think I want to jump backwards a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm going to make us an old fashioned.
Okay.
All right, because we weren't sure if it was going to be good with the Old Forester or not.
It's true.
We were kind of on the fence about it, so we're going to try one.
I bet it's going to be good.
I think it's going to be good. And so I got my mixing. Got my little mixologist kit out here right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I got some nice rock glasses that I had actually got from a gift set from Buchanan Scotch whiskey, a
Yeah.
blend whiskey. And if you ever Christmas time, get one of these sets for yourself.
They're so good.
It's a great Scotch blend, but the glasses that it comes with,
They're super nice.
it's a good thick
It's a thick bottom
drinking
glass,
glass.
and it's got nice design on it to
Yes.
grip. Even because if you're going to put some ice in there, it's going to get a little frosty on the
It's
outside.
a great rocks glass.
It's good for holding on to. It's just a nice, very nice one.
I'm going to step away for 1 second
Okay.
there, Ti. Okay, I'm going to get us some good ice for this one. I got us the block ice. I'll be right back.
All right.
Yes. Okay. So we got
Anyways.
we're back to our thing. So all right. So I'm going to make our old fashioned. I got the nice big block ice cubes. My buddy of mine that I know has this new refrigerator, and his refrigerator makes the ice balls,
Mm.
and that's kind of cool.
That's very cool.
I want that. I guess I got the little regular cube. He's a big whiskey guy.
Yeah.
And so I think that's so cool
Like
that
the
they actually
mini ones or big ones?
it's good size ones. They're like kind of medium size.
Okay.
But they're for people who drink.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what it's designed for.
I like that.
So
Maybe I need that. I don't know.
okay. All right. So I like to have my glass chilled a little bit. So I like to put the ice in there early while I make the cocktail. So you hear that drop. That's a drop of the cube going in there.
Just a couple of little cubes. Nothing
right.
crazy.
I got my muddle. So once again for tonight, I am doing more of a classic old fashioned, making the mix. I got a couple of sugar cubes.
All right.
I'm gonna drop in there.
And what kind of bitters are we using?
And tonight's bitters is the Woodford Reserve bitters. They're normal bitters, and they make a cherry bitter too,
Yeah.
which is really good. But it's a good bitter. I get it from Total Wine.
Okay. And we're just using straight up ice cubes, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Or sorry, not ice cubes, but sugar cubes.
Sugar cubes. I'm doing the classic. I got my muddle.
All right.
I got my tool tonight.
Dang.
All right.
We're going all out.
Going all out. So I like to add a little bit of water
Mhm.
when I put the sugar in there and the bitters.
Kind of starts the breakdown.
It helps breaking down the sugar cube a little bit more for you. And so I'll throw like 2 capfuls of water in there.
Well, you're making a double, right? So
So actually it's like 3 capfuls of water to make the double. So I try to make it just helps break down that ice for you. So for the Woodford, so if I'm making one, it's about 5 to 6 droplets.
Yep.
So I'll be doing 12 droplets for the both of us on this one. Which is basically about 2 squeezes.
Yeah.
When it comes right down to it. It's got like the classic little stopper with the thing, it looks like I'm adding Eye of Newt.
It is Eye of Newt, technically. Yeah.
Extra now. I like my bitters.
Yeah, me too. So then
So now I'm gonna
muddle it up.
muddle it up a little bit. Get that sugar,
It's like watching a science experiment.
right? Like to get that sugar nice and so it's actually kind of like cloudy in there now.
Yep. This is exciting.
So now I got my jigger.
Yeah. This
And,
one we're going for a little bit bigger.
yeah, well, and because we're doing a show, like normally I make mine with 2 ounces. I'm using the 1.5 ounce jigger.
Yep. So here goes the Old Forester.
Old Forester 100 proof. So one
Yeah.
for you, one for
3 for
me,
8.
just 3 for you. Yeah, then try talking afterwards.
No, no.
Give it a good
Yeah.
mix in there.
Mike is a master of these. He has definitely nailed the
I have a good collection of different types of old fashions.
yes.
Remember I made that new fashion that
Yeah.
one time
Mhm.
where I was using like banana liqueur,
Yep.
whiskey. Those came out good. But I like to experiment.
Yeah.
I make a good chocolate old fashioned where I use a chocolate bitters and agave syrup,
Mhm.
which comes out really good.
Yeah, you can really mess with the flavors. Not in a bad way. I'm just
No.
saying, like you can
And
mix
it
and
really
brew.
is about the bitters.
Yeah.
You have to have a good bitters to make different types of old fashions. And we
Agreed.
learned that from our buddies at the local gastropub we go
Yeah,
to.
the locale.
The locale. I mean, he makes a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah.
Um, and it's all about the bitters. I mean, and I have,
100%.
and there was one night when Ti came here, and I had gotten this pack of bitters from this company out of California called King Floyd.
Mhm.
Not to be accused of Pink Floyd, but King Floyd. And we had made, and it was all these different flavors.
Mhm.
So, and I think the best one we had was the scorched pear
Oh, yes, yes.
bitters.
I remember that.
Those were awesome.
Those were ridiculous.
Those were great old fashioned. It was
Ridiculous.
literally it was a scorched pear old fashioned, and it had that pear flavor, a little bit of smokiness
Yeah.
behind it. And then they had the cherry caro, which was kind of like a chocolate cherry. I can't remember the other ones we had. One was like a ginger bitters, if I
Mhm.
remember correctly.
Yep.
Those were okay, and I think we had like we were just trying variations of these drinks, and they were really really good.
Yeah, we got to experiment a lot.
Yes,
It was a lot of fun actually.
yes. Most of our adventures are a lot of fun. We start
Yeah.
experimenting with cocktails and stuff like that.
Because why not?
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
If it comes out, not so great, well, you're still drinking alcohol. So
Oh,
yes.
because at the end of the day, if it's really that bad, you dump it. It's like, you're not like forced to drink it. You just don't like it, you dump it.
Oof, that always brings me back memories to that one. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a whiskey
This
tasting
was
set. It was the whiskeys of Boston.
yeah.
And it was going so good. And
It
then
was going really well until
it was like the devil breed or something like that, or
I
the
don't
devil's
know.
mix. That's what it was actually called. And it actually even said this was going to be a bad bourbon.
Yeah.
And
It
like
was intended to be like
a bad
mixer.
whiskey. It was a bad
Yeah.
whiskey. And like they intended to make it bad.
Yeah.
Like, why would you make a bad whiskey? Like, I can't
I don't know.
understand that. Unless like you're mad at yourself. Like the distiller was like, I hate myself today. I'm gonna make the worst whiskey I can possibly make today.
But that's the problem is
And it was
it
horrible.
was still aged, so it took time to make it terrible. Like made it bad and then aged it to make it worse. That was the worst part about it.
That is not a bad old fashioned.
Yeah, I'd pay for it.
Yes, I would definitely pay for that. That
That's
is
good.
not a bad old fashioned. It's kind of tasty. I think you still get that strong, spicy
Yeah.
rye from the Old Forester being
But
100 proof.
it's definitely like you can. I mean, the cherry that you put in here, right? That does come with a little bit of juice, so that's kind of like helping settle some of the spice.
Yeah.
Which is always really nice when you're mixing in the bitters.
Yeah.
The bitters with that and the cherry definitely makes the Old Forester it had the apple. It had a couple of like really light. That was the one with like lemon, and it had pine,
Yes.
and it had apple.
Apple. Yes. Yes.
So and the chestnut.
Bring back the creamy chestnut, are you? All right, we know where your mind's at now. Gotcha.
It's definitely it definitely did bring out some of those nice little light flavors. The spice went away. It's nice. I like it.
Really nice. It's really nice. So I'm playing a little golf tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
My brother-in-law, he's my sister-in-law is having a baby in a couple of
Awesome.
weeks.
awesome.
I think it's gonna be a girl. She decided not to find out the sex. So tomorrow, the guys who are not going to the unisex baby shower are playing golf.
That's a smart move.
I have nothing against baby showers. I just don't think I should go. Just being honest here.
Yeah.
And play golf with the guys would be nice.
Yeah.
I got that good beer that we went to our local
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Stormhouse
yeah.
Brewery the other day.
Yeah, we did.
I got us like it was a
How about them apples?
how about them apples? It was like a wheat beer, so like think of a Blue Moon.
Yeah.
But this had apple pie,
Mhm.
apple spice, and apple crust
Flavor to it.
flavor to it,
It
but
was awesome.
it wasn't overbearing in
No.
any form or fashion. It wasn't like heavy apple, oh, with cinnamon too. They
Yeah.
called it.
You didn't feel like you were drinking an apple pie.
No, but it
It
had
had
like
the
that
hint of an
the
apple
hint
pie.
of it when you drank it. It was a
Yeah.
really good beer. So I got us a nice little growler for tomorrow that I'm gonna share with my foursome. And it should be a nice little day out
Yeah.
there playing some golf, and then I'll go home and then hopefully by that time my wife, my kid will be home from the baby shower.
Yeah.
But it should be really nice. And it was a very exciting time in my family, bringing a new baby into the
Yeah.
world,
New member.
new member to the family, to the clan.
Yep. New
So
person in the clan.
but it should be a nice golf day tomorrow. It should be beautiful weather. Actually, it was a little hot today. Got a little.
Mhm. It was humid.
It was humid. It got to
Yeah.
mid 80s, high 80s today, so it was a little hot.
Mhm.
And my daughter was off from school today, so I took her out. So now I think we're gonna finish these old fashions, and then we're gonna move on to the final leg of the Battle of the Rise.
The one I'm most interested about, actually.
Get ready to rumble, if you will. And I'm gonna really talk about the history of this one. Actually, I'm gonna bring it up right now. We're gonna talk about this one.
Yeah, let's finish off these old fashions while you talk about the Milam and Greene.
Okay. So Milam and Greene. So this is, like I said, I'm excited for lots of reasons. This is a woman-made rye, a woman-made whiskey, woman-owned, woman distilled. So Marcia Milam had visited a Kentucky warehouse and fell in love with the art of making whiskey.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Right. So then she partnered with a veteran master blender, Heather Greene.
Okay.
Okay, hence the Greene,
Yep.
name Millen and Greene, a master's distiller, Marlene Holmes.
Mhm.
But then they had to partner with a master brewer, and his name is a guy, Jordan Osborne, and he brought 60 years of experience,
That's probably a good idea.
of making whiskey. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure where he's exactly from, where he worked, but he probably worked at a couple of different ones,
Mhm.
different names, and he probably had brought a lot of knowledge to them to help them. And so their operations in Texas Hill County,
Okay.
and they have a 300-gallon copper pot still.
Wow. All right. That's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
that's pretty impressive. So and this one, is in an old port wine cask. And they actually aged it under the Texas sun.
Okay, so they went with the whole environmental
Yes.
aging process.
So it's supposed to help bring that port flavor, melt
Well,
that
I
port
can
flavor
imagine
into that.
since so now we've gone through and watched stuff before, right? So that's something that's very common. I'm not sure if anyone's ever watched Neat. There was a thing on Hulu, a little documentary about whiskey.
Okay.
They actually mention the reason why the region where bourbons and everything is so good for aging is because of the weather change, right? It lets the wood basically expand and contract, and it kind of gets that whiskey deeper into the wood, right, to enrich the flavors and allows for a very nice aging process. So finding like it being in Texas, I always thought Texas was just hot, but apparently it's not. Like there's regions of Texas where it's actually you have like that whole weather pattern where
Yes.
it's hot during the summers
They have
and
they have real
yeah, they
winners.
have real winters.
Yep.
They have the whole thing. So
They actually get a
I
fall. They get
I
they get spring.
imagine that this being aged there would probably come out pretty all right.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this. And this was a really good old fashioned. Are
Yeah,
you, are
really
we
was.
almost done here,
Yeah,
Ti?
yeah, yeah.
All right, all right. Save that cherry for later, Ti.
Yes.
All right. So we save that cherry when we talk about the creepy chestnut.
Oh God. You're embarrassing yourself.
Oh, I can't embarrass myself. All
All
right,
right.
so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So I got the bottle open.
Yeah.
We got to clean our glasses out.
Yeah. Give it a
So
good clean.
so it's a clean, fresh taste.
Yeah. I'm gonna help him with this a little bit. There we are.
All right, all right, all right. Just like Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
What movie was that? That was Dazed and Confused. What a great
It
movie
was
that was. I love that. What was it saying? I like high school girls.
No
As
matter
I get
how
older,
old, they stay the same age.
Yeah.
It's such it's so messed up. That is actually a really good movie. I remember when I first saw it, I had to have been probably high school myself.
So I am going to talk about the flavor profile in 1 second because this has a very unique flavor profile when I'm looking at this on the app.
Okay. So
I can't wait to get the Scotsman involved in this one.
so the cool part is I have no idea what the flavor profiles for these are until Mike D actually drops the knowledge on me. So I'm kind of winging it. So I kind of been like smelling it, kind of figuring out what I think it is,
Now
and
look at the
then
color. That's a nice color to it. Right?
that's like
It's dark.
it is. It's kind of red.
Reddish. It's almost
Yeah.
reddish, right? So it's cinnamon, chocolate, fruit, black currant, sweet, blackberry, warm, lingering,
Mhm.
and berries. So this is going to be, this sounds out of the gate, this is going to be sweet, right? So, Scotsman, help me out here.
Cinnamon, chocolate, fruity, sweet, blackcurrant, warm, lingering, berries.
So this sounds like it's going to be sweet.
No,
And you just took a taste of it. So you tell me right now.
holy moly!
He said, holy moly.
So this is interesting. This is really interesting.
Wow. This is different.
It's not that different.
No, not at all. No, not at
No.
all.
This is
But this is different for a rye.
so the spice is still there, right? But so
Barely.
you might have
Barely spice. I mean, that's where maybe the blackberry and the black
Yeah.
currant comes in.
well, we've talked about the other ones having spice and then like very spice forward and kind of we might just pick out a couple of the flavors. This one's weird. So as I took a sip the first time, the spice
Spicy's
was
the
there,
cinnamon. That's the
but
cinnamon.
but then all of a sudden all the other flavors started popping out.
Yeah.
Like and individually. So it's like I could taste the black currant.
Take
I
another
could do
sip
all
and
that
push it
stuff.
up to the top of your roof of your
Yeah.
mouth there. It's the cinnamon really pops out when you do that. But then the berries, all these different berries pop in. I mean, there's a lot going on in here. There is a lot going on in this rye. This is a very different rye.
It is.
This is very unique
In a good way.
in a very good way. And definitely in a very good way.
I like this a lot.
Yeah. Oh no, this is quite tasty. Now, Old Forester, which is an old school rye, Michter's, which again is an old school rye,
It's old, new.
and this is new, right? And look, the Old Forester and the Michter's had some similarities.
Mhm.
They did. This has no similarities to these two at all. Like this is almost in its own thing. And in the battle of the ring right now,
Mhm.
right? If this was like a battle royale, like a wrestling battle royale, they're throwing each other
Yeah.
throwing each other over the top of the ropes. You know,
Mhm.
this is something very different. This is like the wrestler that is in a mask
Mhm.
and has like all the crazy aerial
The
moves.
luchador or whatever.
Yeah, has all the crazy aerial moves.
Yeah.
Where Mitchers is probably like, the big muscular guy, and then the Old Forester is like probably like the Ric Flair.
Yeah.
The natural.
Out there like, woo.
Yeah. Love Ric Flair, man. Gotta love Ric Flair, man.
So now
Mm.
I don't know if you agree with me. This
Mm.
is delicious. Michter's for me is still the win.
Right now, if I had to say Mitchers is going to win, we haven't put this on ice yet, so
Yeah.
let's give it a chance. But I think this was really so far outside of a normal rye.
So I think this one I want to do the regular rye against these two. Not the port cask aged.
Like their version of
Yeah.
the regular rye. Yes.
Because I think that it just adds so much flavor. Like remember last week, one of them was aged in red wine and it made a complete difference to the flavor profile.
Let me get some ice out here, man. We're gonna bring in the ice.
Bringing it out.
Bring in the ice.
Mm.
Ice, baby. He's opening
Copyright.
he's opening up some restaurants, I think, in Del Rey.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, he's opening up some if you don't know Florida, if your listeners out in Florida, what's his name?
That's Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. He has a real name,
We just know him as Vanilla Ice.
but he does a lot locally. He does a lot of local
Mhm.
charities, which is a really good guy. But he's going to be opening up a lot of restaurants now. He's getting involved with some stuff in Del Rey. Del Rey's got some really good places to go to for eating, so Del Rey's a good place to go check out. All right, here we go. So we're gonna do a little. I'm not measuring at this point.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm done measuring at this point. So obviously, I've had a couple of cocktails.
when Mike D stops measuring, it's
It's time. It's
whatever.
time. All right.
What happens happens.
What happens happens. That's a lot. You might want a second cube in that one. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a big guy. You can handle the TI.
I'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. All right, so more. I'm definitely getting more berry, more fruit.
It is. Yeah,
Scott's been saying it for me.
Fruity.
it is fruit. What do you think about the taste now, though? What's the difference? Any?
Like almost none. I'm not getting.
Yeah,
I am not getting a. Yeah, I gotta give you another ice cube on this one.
that is weird. Yeah, no,
I am
no
not getting.
changes.
This is very rare. Do I ever have
That's
where I
weird.
add the ice or water and I'm not getting a change? And
I think this happened one other time when we did the what the heck are they called? Advent calendar a couple years back, and then we had that
Yes.
one that just like no matter what we did to it,
But yeah,
it tasted the same. Like I'm pretty sure we tried it with like a really light old fashioned. Like we
Yeah.
made a small one, no flavor change. Like it literally tasted the same.
Yeah.
Use it in ice, same. Neat,
like,
same.
and I like this. Let me tell you something. This is once again, I would not mix this.
No.
By no means.
I
This
don't
would
know
not.
what you would mix it with, even if you
Maybe,
were going to.
maybe do an I mean, a Manhattan with it, maybe. But I think you're
Mm,
pushing it. I think it's a push. I think you're forcing it, in my opinion.
yeah.
You know,
Honestly, just do a whiskey coke. It'd be fine.
yeah.
I'm joking.
No, maybe a little ginger ale, maybe. But honestly, I don't think I'd mix it.
No, don't do that to this. This is a 70-something dollar bottle of whiskey. Don't mix soda with it.
I mean, okay. So if anything, it just all it did was mellow it out more.
Mhm.
But still, it is the spicy is that cinnamon,
Mhm.
and then I
I
don't know.
agree with
I
that.
don't know about chocolate. I don't know if I've even got chocolate out of this at all. But I will definitely say the black currant, the sweet, the fruit, the blackberry, the warm. I guess the lingering is that flavor in my mouth after I drink it,
Mhm.
which I actually don't mind it, but it almost makes my tongue water, which is really weird.
Well, it means that you enjoy the flavors, right? That's what that
Yeah.
means.
All right, we'll talk about my tongue watering later. All right, that's a little strange. I shouldn't have said that out loud. I'm sorry, people.
Oh, you're a weird fellow. It's all right.
Yeah.
So,
But wow, this is really tasty.
yeah,
This is good. I'm not knocking it in any way. I don't think that this could be in the same category as a normal rye.
mhm.
I think this is a unique rye.
I think this is a rye. If you have guests over, someone that's interested in ryes, bourbons,
You
whiskeys in
pull this out
general,
to surprise them.
yeah, you give them this to
Yeah.
confuse them.
Yes.
And you're like, I have something it's under 100. It's unique. Check it out. It's a Texas rye. And then
Made by women.
see what they think.
Yeah. And throw the women thing out there because
Yeah.
most people, I mean, look, most people are never going to associate making whiskey and women,
Mm.
which is great that they're doing this. They are breaking barriers.
Yep.
And I love that. I want that to happen. I want more breaking barriers out there. I think it's great for the business. I think it's great for the whole whiskey revolution that's happened over the last
Agreed.
15, 20 years. The rye revolution that's happened in the last 15 years for sure. But this is really good. I mean, hats off to what they've done here.
Yeah.
Really hats off. But I will say in the Battle of the Rise, right now, the winner, standing alone in the ring, is the Mitchers.
Victor's always wins,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Yeah.
Always does. I'm just saying, like, if y'all really want one, seriously go out and buy one. If you haven't tried it yet,
Go to Total
try
Wine,
it.
go to ABC Liquors, go to your
Flaviar.
Crown Liquors, go to your Flaviar.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll find this anywhere. I'll be honest with you. The Milam and Greene you may not find everywhere, but Total Wine definitely has it. They have their regular rye, which I'm going to go buy that regular rye because I am curious.
Is it the
compared
same
to this.
price point?
No, no, it's totally different because that one is not. I looked at the bottle because I saw it. I'm like, why is that one $45?
I gotcha.
Right? Because I know I paid $75 for mine.
Gotcha.
So I checked it out real quick, and that one is not in the port.
Mm.
Yeah, so that one's probably more of a traditional rye, like you had said. So we were actually when we do another show, we're going to have a quick follow up section on that.
Yeah.
So I am going to buy that bottle.
I think we need to. I
Yeah,
think we
just
need to wrap it up and be like, is it actually the same
Yes.
in the same category?
All right. So we're getting close to the end of the evening here.
We
if you
are.
will. So we have our famous whiskey corner that we talk about things going on out there in the world that's going on around our area in South Florida. So we got a couple of great things going on right now. So this weekend, you're going to the Renfest,
I am. Right.
and it is wenches and barmaids.
Yep.
I'm jealous because I can't.
It's going to be so much fun.
Take some pictures for me. Send me some pictures.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right. And I'm going next weekend to that because we're going for Pirate Fest.
It'll be
I'm
awesome.
taking my daughter. So, and then also next weekend at the same time, you have the Honda Classic coming to town.
Yep.
And we got some great golfers. If you're into golf, in fact, you don't have to be into golf to go to a golf tournament. Golf tournaments are a blast.
They're super fun.
They're fun. You know what? You walk around, you drink.
Yeah.
They have good food. Right. And if you are a little bit into golf, you know what? You bring some singles, bring some buddies, and you bet on everything. You bet on the putts, you bet on the first guy on the green, you bet on the caddy walking onto the green.
Or like the bird flying overhead, landing on something.
Now, I think last year we did a little bit too much at the Honda Classic.
We did the exact amount that we needed.
We did. We did the first. We did the practice round, and we did the Friday. I think we were a little tired for Friday.
It's all right. It slowed us down.
It slowed us down. Yeah. It's if you go to a golf tournament, everybody,
no matter where you live, most organized, fun event you'll ever be.
It is. You're outside. You're walking around.
It's beautiful.
It's a organized fun, if you will.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we mentioned it last week. The pillar of whiskey drinking, the pillar of cigar smoking, is at the Hard Rock. It is the Big Smoke meets the Big Whiskey Fest.
Yep, and that's going to be on March 4th. It's a Saturday.
Yes,
I believe that starts at 5:30 or 6:30.
5:30.
5:30.
5:30 for VIP. 6:30 for the regulars. And Ti and myself will be there, and we'll be taking notes, and we'll be talking about what happened at the Whiskey Fest. Yep. This will be my third one. It's a great event. If you have time, check it out. Go buy your tickets. I highly suggest getting VIP because you get 30 plus cigars you get to come home with.
Yep.
Okay.
And all of them are going to be around $15 a piece.
Yeah, so you almost make your money back.
Yeah, you almost make your money back on top of all the VIPs. The whiskeys you get to try that are unique. And
if you're a cigar smoker, and if you're not a cigar smoker, either way, the room is so big, the cigar smoke's not going to bother you.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
So tonight, as we're ending our evening, we are going to have our cigar smoke tonight after we get off this podcast. And tonight's smoke is going to be two cigars I got for us called Leaf by Oscar.
It's going to be delicious.
And
I know
they're great cigars. Actually, they're actually one of my favorite cigars to smoke. And they're packaged in a really unique way. They're wrapped in a tobacco leaf.
Yep.
You got to rip them out of the tobacco leaf and pull them out. And I get these cigars from my good friends at Fox Cigar, based out of Arizona. If you go to Scottsdale, go check out Fox Cigars. They have two great locations.
Yep.
They're a great whiskey and cigar bar, and their online presence is quite good.
Yeah, if you need to, you can just go to foxcigar.com.
Yes, and they have a great selection of cigars you can get online. And if you sign up for their mailing list, you get great deals every day. And their shipping is very quick. And they're a great company. They're a great cigar company. Check them out. They're good friends of mine. If you happen to buy cigars from them, go ahead and mention a note. The Frisky Whiskey sent you.
Yep.
All right, everybody. So this is a great night tonight. The battle will rise. The Michters is the winner, but you can't go wrong. In the end of the day, there are no winners.
There are no winners. There are no losers.
There are no losers, but we are going to say that Michters is the winner.
Michter's wrong.
Yeah.
All right,
everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good one.